Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll cover the entire foundation of statistics, from collecting and organizing data to describing it with averages, spread, and charts. By the end, you'll understand mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, and how to work with group data. Let's get started. Statistics is the science of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data. It has two main branches: descriptive statistics, summarizing data using tables, graphs, and numbers. Inferential statistics, using sample data to draw conclusions about an entire population. Key terms: population, the whole group we want to study, for example, all students in a country. Sample, a subset of the population, for example, 500 students surveyed. Variable, a characteristic that can be measured. Variables can be qualitative, like gender or color, or quantitative, like height or weight. Quantitative variables are further split into discrete, like number of children, and continuous, like time to run 100 meters. Understanding these basics is essential before we dive deeper. Once we have data, the first step is to create a frequency table. It has 3 columns: value, frequency, how many times that value appears; relative frequency, labeled f sub I, which equals n sub I divided by n, where n is the total number of observations. Example, test scores of 5 students, 7, 8, 7, 9, 7. Value 7 appears 3 times, so its frequency is 3, and relative frequency is 3 over 5 equals 0.6. Value 8 appears once, so relative frequency is 0.2. Value 9 appears once, relative frequency 0.2. A frequency table gives a quick overview of the distribution. Visualizing data makes patterns easy to see. Common charts: bar chart for qualitative data, histogram for quantitative data grouped into intervals. Bars touch each other. Frequency polygon connects the midpoints of histogram bars. Pie chart shows percentages. Stem and leaf plot keeps original data while sorting it. Choose the right chart depending on your data type. Now, the most important part: numbers that describe the center of the data. Mean, or average, is the sum of all values divided by the number of values. For raw data, x bar equals the sum of x sub I divided by n. Median is the middle value when data is sorted. If you have an odd number of values, the median is the middle one. If even, the median is the average of the 2 middle values. Mode is the value that appears most often. A dataset can have one mode, 2 modes, which we call bimodal, or no mode. When a distribution is symmetric, mean equals median equals mode. If skewed left, which is negative skew, mean is less than median. If skewed right, mean is greater than median. Let's talk about quartiles. When our dataset size is even, like here with 10 data points, we split the sorted list into 2 halves. Q1 is the median of the lower half, and Q3 is the median of the upper half. Here's our sorted dataset. Since n is even, we split right between position 5 and position 6. The lower half contains 5, 6, 6, 7, and 7. Q1 is the median of the lower half. The middle position is the third value, which is 6. So Q1 equals 6. Q3 is the median of the upper half. The upper half contains 7, 8, 8, 9, and 10. The middle value is again the third one. That's 8. So Q3 equals 8. To summarize, Q1 is 6, the 25th percentile. Q2, the median, is 7, the 50th percentile. Q3 is 8, the 75th percentile. And the IQR is Q3 minus Q1, which is 2. Now let's see how quartiles work with an odd number of data points. For odd-sized datasets, we first identify the median, then exclude it and split the remaining values into lower and upper halves. Here's our odd dataset with 9 values. Position 5 is the median, which is 7. We remove the median. The lower half is 5, 6, 6, and 7. Since the lower half has 4 values, Q1 is the average of the 2 middle ones, 6 and 6, so Q1 is 6. The upper half is 8, 8, 9, and 10. Q3 is the average of the two middle values, 8 and 9, giving us 8.5. So for this odd data set, Q1 is 6, the median is 7, Q3 is 8.5, and the IQR is 2.5. Central tendency alone is not enough. We also need to know how spread out the data is. Range equals maximum minus minimum. It is simple but sensitive to outliers. Interquartile range, or IQR, equals Q3 minus Q1. It covers the middle 50% of the data and is robust to outliers. Variance measures the average square deviation from the mean. For a sample, S squared equals the sum of x sub I minus x bar, all squared, divided by n minus 1. For a population, sigma squared equals the sum of x sub I minus mu, all squared, divided by n. Note, we divide by n minus 1 for a sample to get an unbiased estimate. Standard deviation is the square root of variance. It is in the same unit as the original data, making it easier to interpret. Coefficient of variation, or CV, equals S divided by x bar times 100%. Our data set is the same 10 numbers we've been working with: 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. We already calculated the mean x bar as 7.3. Now let's build a step-by-step table. For each value, we subtract the mean, then square that difference. For 5, 5 minus 7.3 is negative 2.3, squared gives 5.29. For 6, we get negative 1.3, squared is 1.69, and so on through all 10 values. After calculating all deviations, we add up the squared column. The sum of all squared deviations is 20.10. Now step 4, computing variance. We take that sum, 20.10, and divide by n minus 1, which is 9. This gives us approximately 2.233. Here's a visual of each squared deviation. Notice how values farther from the mean, like 5 and 10, contribute larger squared terms. Finally, step 5, standard deviation. We take the square root of variance. The square root of 2.233 is approximately 1.494. Interpretation. On average, scores in this dataset deviate from the mean of 7.3 by about 1.49 points. A smaller standard deviation would mean data clusters tightly around the mean. A larger one indicates more spread. Now let's work with group data when we organize values into classes or intervals. First, we need to decide how many classes to use. Sturges' rule says k equals 1 plus 3.322 times log base 10 of n. With n equal to 10, this gives us approximately 4 classes. Next, class width. We take the maximum value minus the minimum divided by k. That's 10 minus 5 divided by 4, which gives us 1.25. However, since our data consists of whole numbers, we round up to a class width of 2 for practical and intuitive grouping. With a width of 2, we get 3 classes instead of 4. This is a common adjustment. Statistical rules provide guidance, but we should always choose class boundaries that make sense for our actual data. Our 3 classes are 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and 9 to 10. For each class, we calculate the midpoint. For 5 to 6, the midpoint is 5.5. For 7 to 8, it's 7.5. For 9 to 10, it's 9.5. Now let's count the frequencies. For class 5 to 6, we have the values 5, 6, and 6. That's a frequency of 3. For class 7 to 8, we have 7, 7, 7, 8, and 8. That's a frequency of 5. For class 9 to 10, we have 9 and 10. That's a frequency of 2. We also show relative frequency, frequency divided by total, and cumulative frequency. To find the mean for group data, we use the formula. X bar equals the sum of frequency times midpoint divided by n. That's 5.5 times 3, plus 7.5 times 5, plus 9.5 times 2. This gives us 16.5 plus 37.5 plus 19, which equals 73. Divided by 10 gives us a mean of 7.3. Notice this exactly matches our original mean from the raw data. In this case, grouping with these classes preserved the mean perfectly. To wrap up, statistics gives us powerful tools to understand data and make informed decisions. Mastering these basics, mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, histograms, will help you in school, research, and everyday life. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more lessons. See you next time.